The night sky over South Korea lit up with a streak of blue fire. It was not a meteor or a satellite. This was something else. Captain Kim Ta stood on the rooftop of the Korean Space Defense Force headquarters and watched the object fall. His comm unit buzzed urgently at his hip. "Captain Kim, report to command immediately," the voice said. Kim was 35 years old, with a strong build and serious eyes that had seen 2 space conflicts already. He ran down the stairs and entered the command center, where screens showed the crash site in the remote mountains. "What do we know?" Kim asked. Director Park Jin turned to him. Park was older, with gray hair and a face that rarely showed emotion. "Unknown craft. Not one of ours. Not Chinese. Not American. We believe it's not from Earth at all." Kim felt his heart beat faster. "Alien. Yes. And that's why I'm sending you to check it out. Take your best team. This is top secret." Within an hour, Kim and his 5-person team were in a transport helicopter flying toward the mountains. The sun was just rising, painting the sky pink and orange. "What do you think we'll find, Captain?" asked Choi Jun, Kim's weapons specialist. Choi was younger than Kim, but had fought beside him in the Mars border conflict. "I don't know," Kim said, "but we'll handle it." The helicopter landed half a mile from the crash site. The team had to walk the rest of the way, carrying equipment up the rocky path. When they reached the top of the ridge, they all stopped and stared. Below them, in a smoking crater, was a ship unlike anything they had ever seen. It was about the size of a small passenger plane, but its shape was strange, curved and flowing, like liquid metal frozen in mid-pour. Parts of it glowed with a soft blue light. "Check radiation levels," Kim ordered. "Normal," replied Choi, looking at his scanner. "Air is breathable." Kim led the way down to the crash site. Up close, the ship was even more amazing. The metal, if it was metal, seemed to shift slightly when viewed from different angles. "There's an opening," said team member Lee, pointing to what looked like a tear in the side of the craft. Kim approached carefully and peered inside. The interior was dark except for flickering lights from damaged control panels. He turned on his flashlight and climbed in. The inside was as strange as the outside. There were no seats, just curved surfaces that might have been control stations. And there, slumped against one of them, was a figure. Kim's heart jumped. The being was clearly not human. It was tall and slender with 4 arms and skin that had a bluish tint. Its large eyes were half closed. To Kim's shock, those eyes suddenly opened fully and looked right at him. "It's alive," Kim called to his team. "Get the medic." The alien tried to speak. Its mouth moved, making clicking sounds mixed with words that sounded almost like English. "The collective. Coming," the alien said, its voice raspy and weak. "Weapon. Must not. Find." The medic rushed in and began checking the alien's vital signs, but looked up at Kim and shook her head. "I don't know their biology, but these readings suggest it's dying." The alien reached out with one of its 4 hands and grabbed Kim's arm. Its grip was surprisingly strong. "Listen," it said, more clearly now. "I am Relo. My people try to escape. The collective. This ship has technology they want back. Don't let them have it." "Who is the collective?" Kim asked. "Empire of many species. They consume all." Relo's breathing became more labored. "You must use this ship against them. They come soon." With that, Relo's eyes dimmed and its hand fell away from Kim's arm. The alien was dead. Kim stepped back, his mind racing. He noticed a small device on Relo's wrist. It looked like a data storage unit. He carefully removed it and put it in his pocket. Outside the ship, he called Director Park. "Sir, we have a situation. The craft is definitely alien. There was one survivor, but it just died. It said something about the collective coming to Earth. I think this is a military vessel with advanced technology." There was a long pause before Park responded. Secure the site. I'm sending Dr. Song here to assess the technology. Tell no one else what you found. Dr. Song Hyo arrived 3 hours later. She was the head of Korea's Advanced Engineering Division, known for her brilliant mind and unusual methods. Her eyes widened when she saw the alien ship. This is incredible, she whispered, touching the hull. This material shouldn't exist according to our physics. She spent hours examining the ship, crawling through every part of it with tools and scanners. When she finally emerged, her face was flushed with excitement. Captain Kim, this ship has technology that is at least 200 years ahead of ours. Maybe more. The propulsion system alone could revolutionize space travel. And the weapons. She paused. I've never seen anything like them. Can we move it? Kim asked. Yes, but we'll need special equipment. This isn't something we can just load onto a truck. Kim called Director Park again and explained the situation. I'll arrange transport, Park said. But the Global Council is already asking questions about the object that fell. They're demanding we share any findings. Sir, Kim said, lowering his voice, the alien's last words were a warning. If this collective is coming to Earth, and if they're as dangerous as Rello suggested, we might need this technology for ourselves. Another long pause. I understand. I'll arrange a cover story. We'll tell the Council it was a failed satellite. Meanwhile, we'll move the real ship to Facility B7. Kim knew B7. It was Korea's most secret underground research base, built beneath Busan after the first contact war scare 10 years ago. By nightfall, special transport vehicles had arrived. Using anti-gravity lifts, they carefully loaded the alien craft onto a massive flap and covered it with stealth tarps that made it nearly invisible to radar and satellites. Kim rode in the lead vehicle as they slowly made their way down from the mountains. His mind was full of questions. Who was Rello? What was he running from? And what was this collective that had him so afraid? 1 week later, Kim stood in the massive underground chamber of Facility B7, watching as technicians and scientists swarmed around the alien craft. Dr. Song had assembled a team of Korea's best minds, all working under strict secrecy. Director Park walked up beside him. The global situation is getting worse, he said quietly. There have been 3 unexplained attacks on outer colonies in the past month, ships disappearing near Neptune. The Americans think it's the Chinese. The Chinese blame the Europeans. But you think it's something else, Kim said. Park nodded. I think our visitors' collective might already be here, testing our defenses, which is why this project is now top priority. He handed Kim a tablet. Codename: Phoenix. Kim looked at the screen. It showed plans to not only study the alien ship but to rebuild it, bigger, better, and with human improvements. You'll be the military supervisor, Park said. Work with Dr. Song. Learn everything you can about this technology. Because if I'm right, we're going to need it sooner rather than later. Kim looked back at the alien ship. Inside it was technology that could change everything, or save humanity, if Park's fears were correct. I understand, sir, he said. When do we start? Dr. Song approached them, her eyes bright with excitement. She held up the data device Kim had taken from Rello's wrist. We just cracked the first layer of encryption, she said. There's so much here. Star charts, technical specifications, weapons designs. And there's something else. Her voice grew serious. Recordings of what this collective did to Rello's homeworld. She played a short video on her tablet. The 3 of them watched in silence as a beautiful green planet was surrounded by massive ships. Beams of energy lanced down, and within minutes, the planet's surface was on fire. This, Park said quietly, is why Phoenix must succeed. We need to be ready. Kim nodded, his resolve hardening. Whatever this collective was, Earth would not fall easily. Not if he had anything to say about it. The Phoenix Project had begun. #Humans took an alien wreck and built an unstoppable warship. 6 months passed since the alien ship crashed in South Korea. Deep under the city of Busan, in the secret facility B7, the Phoenix project was moving forward. Captain Kim Ta walked through the large underground hangar where the alien ship sat. Around it, dozens of scientists and engineers worked day and night. Sparks flew from welding tools. Computers hummed. The place buzzed with energy and purpose. Dr. Song has spotted Kim and waved him over. She looked tired but excited. Her hair was tied back messily, and she had dark circles under her eyes. "Captain, good timing," she said. "I want you to meet someone." She led Kim to a small office off the main floor. Inside was a thin man with glasses who was writing equations on a clear board. He was so focused that he didn't notice them enter. "Lead Min," Dr. Song called. "This is Captain Kim Ta." Lee Min turned around, blinking as if waking from a dream. "Oh, hello. Sorry, I was working on the negative mass equations." Lee Min is the best quantum physicist in Korea, Dr. Song explained. "Maybe the best in the world. I've been trying to recruit him for months. He finally agreed to join us yesterday." Kim shook Lee's hand. "Welcome to Phoenix. What made you decide to join?" Lee's face grew serious. "The attack on the Neptune station last week. 37 people dead. The official story says it was an accident, but..." He looked at Dr. Song. "She showed me the real footage. That was no accident. That was the collective." Kim nodded grimly. The attacks were becoming more frequent. The collective was testing Earth's defenses, and no one except those on Project Phoenix knew the truth. "What's your take on the alien drive system?" Kim asked. Lee's eyes lit up. "It's amazing. The ship doesn't move through space in the way we understand it. It creates a negative mass field and basically falls through space-time. It's like, imagine space as a sheet. Normal ships push against the sheet to move. This one punches a hole and drops through it." Kim didn't fully understand, but he got the basic idea. "Can we replicate it?" "Maybe. Some of the materials don't exist on Earth, but Dr. Song has ideas about that." Dr. Song smiled. "We're going to build our own version, better than the original." Later that day, Kim brought his own addition to the team. Cho Jun, his weapons specialist from the crash site, was now officially assigned to Phoenix. "This place is incredible," Choi said as Kim showed him around the facility. "Is that really the alien ship? It looks different." "We've been taking it apart to study each piece," Kim explained. "Some parts we can't understand yet, but we're making progress." A loud alarm suddenly blared through the facility. Red lights flashed. Kim's comm unit buzzed. "Security breach in Sector 4, a voice announced. "All personnel clear the area." Kim and Choi ran toward Sector 4, drawing their weapons. When they arrived, they found security guards surrounding a young woman sitting calmly at a computer terminal. "Who are you?" Kim demanded. "How did you get in here?" The woman looked up. She couldn't have been more than 22 or 23 years old, with short hair and a confident expression. "My name is Han-Soo," she said, "and your security systems need work. I got past them in under 10 minutes. Director Park arrived, looking furious. "Arrest her," he ordered. "Wait," Han-Soo said quickly. "Before you do that, you might want to see what I found." She pointed to her screen. "Your systems have a backdoor. Someone's been watching everything you do here." Kim, Park, and Dr. Song looked at the screen. Sure enough, there was evidence of unauthorized access to the facility's computers. "Why should we believe you?" Park asked. "Because I'm not the one who put the backdoor there. I just found it, and I can help you fix it." Han-Soo's expression was serious now. "Look, I know what you're doing here. You're building something to fight the collective, right? I want to help." "How do you know about the collective?" Kim asked sharply. "My parents were on the Europa research station when it went offline last year." She made quotation marks with her fingers. "The official story was a life support failure, but I hacked the station's last transmissions. I saw what really happened. Dr. Song studied the young woman. What's your background? AI systems and computer security. I was top of my class at Seoul Tech before I dropped out. Got bored. Han Su shrugged. But this is interesting. After a long discussion in Director Park's office, they made a decision. Han Su would join the Phoenix team as their systems expert, with the specific job of creating an AI to run the complex systems they were building. If she steps out of line once, she's gone, Park warned. 2 weeks later, the team achieved their first major breakthrough. In the testing chamber, Lee Min and Dr. Song stood before a small device they had built based on the alien ship's power core. Are you sure this will work? Kim asked, watching from behind a thick safety glass. Mostly sure, Dr. Song said with a smile. The theory is sound. The alien materials we couldn't replicate, we replaced with our own versions. It won't be as powerful as the original, but it should work. Lee Min looked nervous but determined. Beginning test in 3, 2, 1. He pressed a button on his tablet. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the device began to glow with a soft blue light, just like the alien ship had. The light grew brighter, and instruments around the room began to register energy outputs. It's working, Dr. Song exclaimed. We've got stable power generation. The readings on the screens climbed higher and higher. The blue glow intensified. That's more output than we expected, Lee said, looking concerned. Maybe we should. Before he could finish, there was a bright flash. The safety glass cracked. Alarms blared. Emergency sprinklers activated, spraying water throughout the facility. When the chaos settled, they found the device still working, but now generating 5 times the power they had predicted. We did it, Dr. Song said, soaking wet but beaming. Our first hybrid human-alien technology. And it works better than their original design. It was a turning point for Project Phoenix. In the weeks that followed, breakthroughs came quickly. Han Su created a basic AI system she named Hana to help manage the increasingly complex systems they were developing. Choi Jun worked with the weapons team to understand the phase-shifting technology that made the alien weapons so powerful. But with progress came new problems. Director Park reported that the Global Space Council was asking more questions. Other countries had noticed Korea's increased activity and resource allocation. We can't keep this secret forever, Park told Kim during one of their weekly meetings. And we have confirmation now that the collective is definitely in our system. 3 more ships have gone missing near Saturn. Kim nodded. How much longer until we're ready? Dr. Song says the drive system needs at least 6 more months. The weapons, maybe 8, but we might not have that much time. One evening, Kim found Dr. Song alone in the hangar, staring at the holographic plans they had created for their new ship. It's going to be beautiful, she said quietly. The design on the screen showed a vessel larger than the original alien craft, but with similar flowing lines. It incorporated the best of human and alien technology. A true hybrid. Will it be powerful enough? Kim asked. Dr. Song turned to him, her face serious. The phase-shifting weapons will be able to bypass any known shielding. The drive system will make it faster than anything in the solar system. And the AI that Han Su is developing will make it smarter than any ship ever built. She paused. But the collective has thousands of ships. We're building just one. Then we'll make it count, Kim said firmly. At that moment, the facility's alert system activated. Director Park's voice came over the speakers. All team leaders to the command center immediately. We have a situation. When they arrived, Park looked grim. On the main screen was footage from Mars Colony. Buildings were on fire. People were running in panic. And in the sky above, dark shapes could be seen moving slowly, methodically. This is happening right now, Park said. The collective has stopped testing. They've started their invasion. Kim felt a chill run down his spine. How long do we have? Intelligence suggests they'll reach Earth in 3 months. Park looked around the room at the assembled team leaders. We don't have 6 to 8 months anymore. We need Phoenix ready in 3. Dr. Song took a deep breath. We'll make it happen. As they left the command center, Li Min caught up with Kim and Dr. Song. I've been doing calculations, he said quietly. Even if we get the ship built in time, the collective will still outnumber us at least 30-1. Kim looked at the 2 scientists. Then we'll just have to make sure our one ship is worth 30 of theirs. In the heart of the facility, the partially built hull of what would become Phoenix waited, its alien metal gleaming under the bright lights. The race against time had begun. The next 2 months at Facility B7 were the most intense of Captain Kim Ta's life. The massive underground space had been transformed into a shipyard. The skeleton of Phoenix took shape in the center of the hangar, growing larger each day. Workers operated around the clock in 3 shifts. Sleep was rare. Meals were eaten quickly at workstations. Everyone knew what was at stake, the fate of Earth itself. Kim walked along the observation deck with Director Park, looking down at the construction. It's impressive, Park said. Bigger than I expected. The ship was indeed large, almost 300 meters long. Its hull curved gracefully, like the original alien vessel but scaled up. Blue-white lights glowed from various points along its surface. Dr. Song kept adding systems, Kim explained. She says every extra bit of technology might make the difference. The Global Council is demanding answers, Park said, his voice low. They know something is happening here. And the attacks are getting worse. The Europa base went dark yesterday. No survivors. Kim nodded grimly. After Mars, the collective had moved methodically through the outer colonies. Earth was next. How much longer? Park asked. Dr. Song says 2 more weeks for basic systems, 4 for full combat readiness. We might not have 4 weeks, Park said. In the ship's engine room, Li Nin was directing a team installing the hybrid power core. His face was pale, and he moved with a slight limp. 2 weeks earlier, there had been an accident during a power test. Li had been injured, but he refused to take time off. Careful with that connection, he said as workers lowered a glowing blue component into place. If the alignment is off by even a millimeter, the whole system could fail. Dr. Song entered the engine room. She looked exhausted but determined. How's it coming? On schedule, Li said. The core is stable at 80% capacity. We should be able to reach 100% by next week. We need more, Dr. Song said. I've been running simulations based on what we know about the collective ships. At 100%, we'll barely match their flagship. Li looked uncertain. The materials weren't designed for more than 100%. If we push harder, we need to try, Dr. Song interrupted. The latest intelligence suggests they'll reach Earth orbit in 18 days. Li was quiet for a moment, then nodded. I'll see what I can do. On the bridge of the Phoenix, Han Su was installing her AI system, Hana. The bridge was a blend of human and alien design. Traditional control stations alongside strange, curved interfaces. Kim entered and looked around. Impressive. Han Su smiled proudly. Wait until you see it working. Hana, activate bridge systems. A soft, female voice responded from speakers around the room. Bridge systems activating. Han Su. The strange alien interfaces lit up. Holographic displays appeared above each station. Hana can run the entire ship if necessary, Han Su explained. She can make combat decisions 1,000 times faster than a human. She can even operate with parts of her systems damaged. You built this in 2 months? Kim asked, amazed. I had help. The alien ship had an AI core. Not as advanced as Hana, but it gave me a starting point. Kim walked to what would be the captain's chair. How much of the ship is ready? Life support is online. Engines are at 80%. Weapons are. Han Su checked a display. About 60% complete. Choi Jun has been working non-stop on the phase cannons. Kim nodded. Good work. As he turned to leave, a loud alarm blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed. Security breach in Sector 2. Announced the facility's system. All personnel evacuate. Kim ran to Sector 2, which housed the main research labs. When he arrived, he found chaos. There had been an explosion. 3 guards were down. Choi-jun was fighting hand-to-hand with a man in a lab coat. Kim drew his weapon. Freeze. The attacker looked up. His eyes were strange, entirely black. He threw Choi aside with inhuman strength and ran toward a nearby exit. Kim fired, hitting the man in the shoulder. The attacker stumbled but kept running. Kim chased him through several corridors before cornering him at a dead end. "Who are you?" Kim demanded, weapon raised. The man smiled, and his face seemed to shift slightly. "You cannot stop the collective," he said, his voice having an odd echoing quality. "We know what you're building. We're already here." Before Kim could react, the man bit down on something in his mouth. His body convulsed, and he collapsed to the floor dead. When security arrived, they discovered the man was Dr. Kang, who had been with the project since the beginning. But scans showed he was not entirely human. Parts of his brain had been replaced with unknown technology. "A spy," Director Park said as they examined the body. "The collective has infiltrated us." "What did he do before we caught him?" Kim asked. They reviewed security footage and saw Dr. Kang planting explosive devices in 3 key areas of the facility. 2 had been found and disarmed. 1 had detonated, damaging part of the weapons lab and injuring 5 scientists. "He was trying to slow us down," Choi-jun said, holding an ice pack to his bruised face. "They know we're a threat." That evening, an emergency meeting was called. All team leaders gathered in the command center. "The collective will reach Earth in 16 days, Director Park announced. "Our latest intelligence suggests they have 27 warships in their first wave. More will follow if they succeed." Dr. Song stood up. "Phoenix is not ready. We need at least 3 more weeks for full combat capability." "We don't have 3 weeks," Park said flatly. "We need to launch in 14 days. Ready or not." The room erupted in protests and arguments. Kim watched silently until everyone had spoken, then stood. "We can do it," he said firmly. "We'll work around the clock. Whatever isn't finished, we'll manage without." Dr. Song looked skeptical. "Captain, the phase shields aren't stable yet. The weapons are only partially calibrated. If we launch too soon. If we launch too late, there won't be an Earth to save," Kim interrupted. "We make it work with what we have." After a tense silence, Dr. Song nodded. 14 days. The next 2 weeks were a blur of activity. The entire team worked without stopping. Lee Min pushed the power core beyond safe limits, achieving 120% of design capacity. Dr. Song completed the phase shift technology for the hull, allowing parts of the ship to exist partially out of normal spacetime, making it harder to hit. Han Su and Hannah ran thousands of combat simulations, learning from each one. On the morning of the 14th day, Phoenix was as ready as it could be. The massive ship hovered in the center of the hangar, its engines glowing softly. Kim stood before the assembled crew, 200 of Korea's best scientists, engineers, and soldiers. They looked tired but determined. "Today, we take the fight to the collective," Kim said. "They think humans are weak. They think we'll surrender or die easily. They don't understand what we've built here." He gestured to the Phoenix. "This ship represents the best of humanity. Our ingenuity, our determination, our refusal to give up. Yes, we used alien technology to build it, but we improved that technology. We made it our own." Kim looked at each key team member, Dr. Song, Lee Min, Han Su, Choi-jun. "The Phoenix crew will be small, just 20 of us. The rest of you will evacuate to the backup facility. If we fail, you'll be humanity's next line of defense." Director Park stepped forward. "Captain Kim will command Phoenix. This mission is not officially sanctioned by the Global Council. As far as they know, You're testing an experimental defense system, but make no mistake, you are Earth's best hope." Later, as the selected crew boarded Phoenix, Dr. Song walked beside Kim. "The power core is still unstable at high output," she warned, "and the phase shift can only be maintained for short periods." "We'll make it work," Kim said. In the engine room, Li Nin monitored the core from a medical chair. His injuries had worsened, but he refused to stay behind. "I can manage the core better than anyone else," he had insisted. On the bridge, Han Su was at her station, with Hannah running final checks on all systems. "All systems functional," Captain Hannah reported. "Combat effectiveness estimated at 78% of optimal design." "It will have to be enough," Kim said as he took the captain's chair. The massive doors above the facility began to open, revealing a starry night sky. Phoenix's engines pulsed brighter. "Prepare for launch," Kim ordered. As Phoenix rose slowly from its underground birthplace, a message came through from global monitoring stations. The collective fleet had been detected passing the moon's orbit. They would reach Earth in less than 24 hours. The hunt was on. Phoenix rose into the night sky above South Korea. Its strange, flowing hull reflected the moonlight. Inside, Captain Kim Tai and his crew prepared for the most important battle in human history. All systems functioning within acceptable parameters, Hannah, the ship's AI, reported. Her calm voice filled the bridge. "Take us out of the atmosphere," Kim ordered. "Maximum stealth mode." The ship climbed higher, its engines barely making a sound. The blue glow of its power systems dimmed until Phoenix was nearly invisible against the stars. On the main screen, Earth grew smaller behind them. It looked peaceful and blue, a jewel in the darkness. Kim thought of the billions of people down there who had no idea what was coming for them. "Hannah, show us the collective fleet," he said. The screen changed to show the area near the moon. 27 dark shapes moved in perfect formation toward Earth. The collective ships were massive, each one at least 3 times larger than Phoenix. "That's a lot of ships," Choi Jun said from the weapons station. Dr. Song, who was monitoring the ship's systems, looked up. "We knew the odds. 1 against 27. "Tell me about their flagship," Kim said. Hannah displayed an enlarged image of the lid ship. It was even bigger than the others, with strange protrusions along its hull that might be weapons. "Estimated length, 1,200 meters, Hannah reported. "Energy readings suggest advanced weapons and shields. This matches the description of a command vessel in Relo's data." Kim studied the image. "And the commander?" "According to Relo's records, collective fleets are led by Supreme Executors. This fleet is likely commanded by Supreme Executor Vex, based on its position and trajectory." Kim turned to his crew. "We have the element of surprise. They don't know about Phoenix. We'll use that advantage while we have it." He outlined his plan. Phoenix would approach using its stealth systems, then attack 3 ships on the edge of the fleet. The goal was to create confusion and draw some ships away from Earth. "Our phase cannons should be able to penetrate their shields," Choi said. "And our hull can shift partially out of normal space, making us harder to hit. But we can't keep that up for long." "We don't need long," Kim said. "Just long enough." As Phoenix approached the collective fleet, tension on the bridge increased. They were now just minutes away from first contact. In the engine room, Li Nin monitored the power core from his medical chair. The core glowed brighter than it should, already pushing past safe limits. "Engine room to bridge," Li called. "The core is stable at 120%, but I can push it to 130% for short bursts if needed." "Understood," Kim replied. "Stand by." On the bridge, Han Su worked with Hannah to track the enemy ships. "They still haven't detected us," she reported. "Their scanning technology isn't designed to find phase-shifted objects." "Good," Kim said. "Prepare weapons. Target the 3 outermost ships." Choi activated the phase cannons. They hummed to life. drawing power from the core. "Weapons ready," he reported. Kim took a deep breath. Fire. Brilliant blue beams shot from Phoenix toward the unsuspecting collective ships. The first beam hit its target directly, passing through the ship's shields as if they weren't there. The collective ship shuddered, then exploded in a burst of light. The second and third beams struck their targets with equal success. In less than 10 seconds, 3 enemy ships were destroyed. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the remaining collective vessels began to move, breaking formation as they searched for the attacker. "They're confused," Han Su said, smiling. "They can't find us." "Not for long," Kim cautioned. "Their sensors will adapt." "Hana, how many ships are breaking off to search for us?" "4 vessels have changed course," Hana replied. "The rest continue toward Earth." "We need to draw more away," Kim decided. "Move us in closer. Target 4 more ships." Phoenix glided deeper into the enemy fleet, still hidden by its phase technology. Again, the phase cannons fired, destroying 4 more ships before the collective could react. This time, the response was immediate. 12 ships broke from the main group and began scanning in all directions. "They're using wide-spectrum sensors now," Han Su warned. "They'll find us soon." "Then we don't hide anymore," Kim said. "Drop phase shift. Full power to engines and weapons. Let them see us." Phoenix shimmered into full visibility in the middle of the enemy formation. Its hull now glowed brightly with blue energy. "Broadcasting on all frequencies," Kim ordered. "This is Captain Kim Ta of the Earth vessel Phoenix. You are in restricted space. Leave our system now, or be destroyed." The response came quickly. A barrage of energy weapons from the surrounding ships, but most missed as Phoenix moved with surprising speed. "They're targeting us with everything they have," Choi reported as the ship shook from a glancing hit. "Good," Kim said. "That means they're not targeting Earth. Return fire. Full spread." Phoenix's weapons blazed, hitting 2 more enemy ships. One exploded. The other was crippled but still operational. On the main screen, a face appeared. It was alien, gray-skinned with 4 black eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. It wore some kind of metal headdress. "Human vessel," the alien said in accented English. "I am Supreme Executor Vex. Your resistance is noted but futile. Surrender your ship, and we will make your deaths painless." "Not going to happen," Kim replied. Vex's 4 eyes narrowed. "That ship, the design is familiar. You have stolen collective technology." "We improved it," Kim said. "As you've noticed." Vex made a sound that might have been a laugh. 16 ships against 1. You cannot win." The screen went dark. Immediately, all remaining collective ships began to converge on Phoenix. "They're surrounding us," Han Su warned. "Engine room, we need maximum power," Kim called. "Giving you 135%, Lee replied, his voice strained. "But the core is becoming unstable. We can't maintain this for more than 10 minutes." Phoenix twisted and turned through space, firing its weapons continuously. 3 more enemy ships were destroyed, but Phoenix was taking damage too. Part of the lower hull had been hit, and power fluctuations rippled through the ship. "Shields at 60%, Hannah reported calmly. "Hull integrity at 82%. "We need a new plan," Dr. Song said, looking at the tactical display. The collective ships were tightening their circle. Kim studied the enemy formation. "Where's their flagship?" "Here." Han Su pointed to a massive vessel holding position behind the others. "It's directing the attack but staying out of range." "That's our target," Kim decided. "If we take out Vex, we might disrupt their command structure." "We'll never get through those other ships," Choi objected. "We won't go through them," Kim said. "We'll go around them." "Lee, can you give us one big burst of power?" "Everything the core has." "It might burn out completely," Lee warned. "But yes, for maybe 30 seconds. Hana, plot a course that takes us in a wide arc at maximum speed, then directly toward the flagship." Han Su, prepare to engage maximum phase shift on my mark. Phoenix suddenly accelerated away from the enemy formation, seeming to retreat. Several collective ships gave chase. They think we're running, Choi said. Let them think that, Kim replied. All power to engines. Now. Phoenix surged forward, moving faster than any human ship had ever moved. The stars blurred on the view screen. Phase shift ready, Han Su reported. Execute, Kim ordered. Phoenix shimmered and partially disappeared from normal space. Not invisible, but not fully present either. Core temperature critical, Lee's voice warned from the engine room. We have maybe 20 seconds. Phoenix completed its arc and now headed directly for Vex's flagship. The massive collective vessel grew rapidly on the screen. They see us coming, Han Su said. They're powering weapons. Too late, Kim replied. Phase cannon. Target their bridge. Fire when ready. Choi locked onto the flagship's command center and fired. The blue beam struck true, but the flagship's shields held. Their shields are too strong, Choi reported. Then we'll get closer, Kim decided. Maintain course. Full speed. The flagship grew larger and larger on the screen. Now they could see details of its strange architecture, its weapons ports, its massive engines. They think we're going to crash into them, Dr. Song realized. We're not, Kim said. We're going to phase right through them. Han Su, maximum phase shift. Choi, prepare all weapons to fire from inside their shields. Inside. Choi looked shocked. Captain, that's never been tested. No time like the present, Kim said grimly. Phoenix's phase shift increased until the ship was barely visible even to its own sensors. The flagship's hull filled the entire view screen. 3 seconds to contact, Hannah announced. Maximum phase shift. Now, Kim ordered. There was a strange sensation, as if the entire ship had turned to liquid for a moment. Then Phoenix was inside the flagship, its hull intersecting with the larger vessel's structure. All weapons, fire, Kim commanded. From inside the flagship's shields, Phoenix unleashed everything it had. The effect was devastating. Explosions rippled through the collective vessel from the inside out. Get us out of here, Kim ordered. Full power to engines. Phoenix pushed forward, phasing through the remainder of the flagship and emerging from its bow. Behind them, the massive ship began to break apart. On the tactical display, something strange was happening. The remaining collective ships were no longer attacking in coordination. Some were firing randomly. Others began to turn away. They're confused, Han Su said. Vex must have been controlling them directly somehow. Broadcasting to all Earth forces, Kim said. This is Phoenix. The collective flagship is down. Their fleet is disorganized. Attack now. From Earth, the small defense fleet launched. Though outnumbered and outgunned, they went on the offensive against the now disorganized collective ships. In the engine room, Li Min managed one last miracle, stabilizing the core enough for Phoenix to join the attack. Together with Earth's fleet, they destroyed or drove off the remaining enemy vessels. As the last collective ship fled the system, cheers erupted throughout Phoenix. They had done the impossible. One ship against many. Human ingenuity against alien technology. Kim looked at his exhausted but triumphant crew. Well done, he said simply. Dr. Song approached him, holding a tablet. Captain, I've been analyzing the data we collected during the battle. The collective isn't just one alien race. It's many species forced to work together. Some of those ships were sending distress signals in different languages. Slaves? Kim asked. Or conquered peoples? Dr. Song nodded. And there are more out there. Many more who might join us against the collective. As Phoenix limped back toward Earth, its damaged hull still glowing faintly, communications began pouring in from across the planet. They had seen the battle. They knew what Phoenix had done. But more surprisingly, signals were coming in from deep space. Alien transmissions in dozens of languages, all asking the same thing. How had humans defeated the collective? In the captain's quarters, Kim looked at plans Dr. Song had already drawn up for more Phoenix-class ships. Earth wouldn't be caught unprepared again. The collective will return, Dr. Song said. And we'll be ready, Kim replied. Humanity is just getting started. The end.